Hey guys, this is of course my Firefly FFJA VI Baritone guitar that I got not too long ago. And I decided after listening to it for a while that maybe the pickups were just a little more microphonic and a little thinner sounding than I really wanted. So I poked around and I thought I'll continue the experiment of replacing inexpensive pickups with inexpensive pickups, maybe of better reputation. So what I did, I went out and bought, sorry Benny, I went out and bought these, whatever the heck that signifies, from FLEOR. FLEOR, is that how you say it? I dropped those pickups into this guitar. And they look the same, as you can see. As you can see my windows and the reflection. They look exactly the same. They fit perfectly. And they are Alnico 5 pickups. From, was it IKN Music, I think? IKNmusic.com, I believe, is the site. I got them through Amazon. But that's where they come from, is I think it's IKN Music. And I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of reviews on these. There are some out there. But the ones I did see were all good. I didn't hear anybody say they didn't like them. The price on these, I think I paid under $50. It was like $49 something for the matched pair through Amazon. And I wanted to show you how they sound. Hopefully, my amp over here isn't going to overdrive my mic over here, but let me just give you a quick run through. I'll just cut right to the chase. This is the bridge position pickup, all right? Your lead pickup. I got the amp set up mostly clean, just a touch of bark in it. But I thought these things were a great improvement. The output is pretty phenomenal. It's pretty vocal, very vocal sounding. I can't play, but you know how it goes. So let me show you the middle position, which is not coil split. These are only 2-wire pickups. You can't coil split them. I wouldn't do it anyway. This is the blend between the bridge and neck pickup right here. Might be overdriving my mic a little bit. I'll try not to hit it so hard. Maybe if I even clean it up a little bit, take a little bit of the hot out of it. I love a baritone guitar because it sounds almost like a cello when you let it sustain. It's just because that's something I love. Let me show you a little demo of a song that you heard before. Probably heard me jamming on it a bunch of times. But to show you how to compensate on a baritone guitar for playing what you normally would play in your normal range 6-string guitar, this song right here, which I'm still in the middle position pickup for, normally, if you looked at it on a 6-string standard tuning, you'd be playing in an A minor 7, which, you know, would look like that, right? Want to see what position we're on. An A minor 7 to a B minor 7, right? But we can't do that on this guitar because it's tuned a whole 5th down, which means we've got to do everything a 5th up to match it on the baritone. That means that instead of playing this shape, I have to move what looks like a D minor 7 kind of shape, right? To achieve the same chord as I would be playing on my standard tuning guitar. So this song, you know the song. I don't want to get any strikes, so I don't like to say the titles. But that's what you have to do. So what looks like this is actually an A minor 7. That is an A minor 7 on this guitar. let's move to the neck position pickup. Gives us a nice boom. You actually do get a good bit more sustain on a baritone than you do on a standard tuning guitar. What looks like an A chord on this guitar is an E chord. Like I said, if you take your capo and you capo it on the 5th fret, you now have basically what's exposed up here is basically your standard tuning guitar. There's your E, there's your A, there's your D, all where you normally would find them. My Beatles riff. I'm hitting it a little hard. I like to move up to this fret to do my I think I am sharpening out my thickest string, which is the B string on this guitar. Gotta get right on top of the fret to keep that from happening. The legend lives on from the Chippewa down of the big lake they call Gitchigumi. That's by a guy out of another country. But I wanted to show you what these pickups sound like. Let me show you what they sound like with a little distortion on them. So for that, I'm going to move back down to the bridge position pickup. And let's cheese this sucker out. There's no channel for it, it's just a one-channel amp. What looks like an E chord is actually a B chord on this guitar. Guess I got what I deserve. I'll be alright. But anyway, see? That's what these pickups do. This is your, sort of barky setting. Barky setting, middle position. That would explain the sharp while I was caboing. My low B is sharp. Let's try that again up there. Better. So if you like to keep your guitar right on the edge of bark. Some of my observations of this baritone are that the strings that it came with, which these are still the original strings that came right out of the box. I don't know whose strings they are. They're not color-coded at the end, so I don't think they're Diodario. I mean, they might be, but nope, they're just all brass balls. These strings are all brass balls, and they are 13 gauge. The higher note B string, your 1 string on this guitar, that B string is a 13 gauge string. Now, because the scale is longer, it does not mean that it's easy to bend, because you're moving up in gauge to accommodate that length to be able to tune it this way. So I'm looking actually to maybe try some 12 or maybe even 11 gauge baritone strings on this guitar to make it easier to do the bending. But for now, the tone I'm getting out of these is great, regardless of my inability to bend them. And it is difficult. It's a little harder to play these. I got the action down pretty low right now. It could probably come down a little bit lower. I think I kind of monkeyed with the action a bit accidentally when I put these pickups in. When I installed these pickups earlier today, in order to do it, see the neck overhangs the pick guard by about a half an inch. So when I loosened up the pick guard, I thought it was just going to lift straight out. It didn't. It's a good half inch underneath the wood of the end of the neck. So the neck has a flange on the bottom of it. So what I had to do was basically to get it out without having to unmount all the strings. What I did was I loosened the strings big time down to nothing, and I unbolted the neck. I unscrewed the neck, and I took the neck off. When I took the neck off, I found that there was a lot of sawdust debris underneath the neck, in the neck pocket. So they didn't do a great job of cleaning that out when they mounted the neck on there. I did clean it out. I probably changed the angle of the neck ever so slightly, and I think what it did was it raised the action just a hair. So I got to go back in and reset it up. But I thought it would be a nice time to just show you what these FLEOR pickups sound like. FLEOR Alnico 5 humbuckers, 2-wire. These have the braided mesh on the outside of the wire, and the inside is just a single hot lead. So it's a single hot lead, the braided mesh. You have to take your pick, a pick, and unbraid like the top half inch of it, pull it all to the side like that, much like this, and twist it up. And that becomes your ground. And the installation of these was nothing. I mean, it took me probably 10 minutes for the whole activity. The hard part was having to unmount the neck in order to get the pick guard off. But once you did get it off, the inside's pretty good. It's not shielded. The inside of this guitar is not shielded, but they're humbuckers, so I'm not so worried about it. If this was like a Tele or a Strat, I'd be more worried about the single coils not being shielded. But these apparently aren't really picking up any noise that I can hear. I had this plugged into my Bogner Alchemist in my office back there. I got sort of an office/amp room. I've got a Bogner Alchemist half stack back there, kind of modified one, highly revamped, very, very hot. And I took this in there, because that's actually where my workshop is now. I set up a workbench back there. I took this in there to do the work, and while I was in there, I thought, it hadn't even occurred to me while I was setting up my solder station and tool station back there that this is where all my amps are. So using this, stage right 15-watt 112 amp for all my demos out here is good enough. But when I wanted to test it at high power, high capability amps with a lot of effects in them, like that Bogner Alchemist, I looked around and went, I can test it right there. Turn on the half stack, plug this thing into it, and oh my God, like the voice of God come out of that thing. So I'm thinking that I had been using replacement pickups from a company out of Canada for all my other Fireflies. Whenever I place the humbuckers in my Firefly FF338s, which I have done, I always went to a place called Tone Emporium in Canada. and I bought their, I think it's TE, oh, I forget, TE1 or 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't recall the model number, but they're great pickups. They have been great pickups. But I decided to just, let's see if I spent a little bit less, because those were up in the hundreds, or 100 and something for a matched pair of those. And they were well worth it. They really were. But I wanted to see what would happen if I spent about $50 or less. I didn't want to spend another $30. I figured, let's go a little bit more than that. So I found these for about $50 for the matched pair. I think you can buy them individually from the website for something like $23 a piece. They're a snap to put in. There would be a snap to take out if you needed to. But I got to tell you, I love them. Maybe I don't have as discriminating an ear as a lot of these other reviewers on YouTube do. And I'm not as pro as many of them, as I'm sure you've noticed by now. But I mean, to my ear, the layman, up until recently, gigging guitar player, these, I've only had them for, installed in the guitar for half a day, so I don't know what the reliability is like. But what's going to happen to a pickup over time? I don't know. So for now, I'm very happy with this. Let me drop some of the tone out on the guitar. This is tone all the way off, neck position. If I take some of that bark out and just make it nice and clean, let's crank up that reverb, get real schmaltzy. I find with this baritone you don't want to turn the bass on the amp up too high. I've only got it at about maybe, I've got it at about maybe 9 o'clock. So it's about maybe 1/4 of the way up, kind of. The mid-range is just south of noon, and the treble is just north of noon. So kind of it's a very bassy sounding guitar because of the thick, heavy strings. So you don't need to put a lot of bass in there. So I just kind of set it more or less all noon and then roll the bass off a bit, more or less. And put the tone back in. It's about 1/3 of the tone. That's about 2/3 of the tone. And here's the tone all the way on. So you see it's got all the bright you need. The distance from the strings. Pickup distance from the strings, I don't know if you can see it. Try and get up close. Pretty close. Pretty close. I wanted more output from these. That's as close as I dare go. Any closer than that, and you might get that string warble that you're so afraid of. The magnet will grab the string and keep it from resonating more. So I experimented. I brought it up to almost where it was touching the string. Almost where it was touching it. And I could hear the warble starting. And I just backed it off until it stopped warbling, and then maybe another 1/2 millimeter beyond that. Because I didn't want to push the string down and touch it on the pickup either. I mean, you can do that to any guitar if you try hard enough. I just don't want to keep doing it by accident. So neck position. Neck position. Middle position. Bridge position. Hands off the guitar. No buzz. Properly grounded. No noise. So there you are. The Firefly FFJA VI Baritone guitar with newly installed FLEOR, F-L-E-O-R, Alnico 5 humbuckers from IKNmusic.com. I love them. To buy these same ones, you're going to spend in US dollars just under $50. Probably 50 with the shipping. I got these off Amazon. You can also get them off the website. I found that the prices are pretty similar. I found them on Amazon. That's why I bought them there. I didn't even think to look on the original manufacturer's website. So there you go. I hope you have enjoyed this little demonstration. Thank you for letting me share that with you. That's Sinister B, man. Oh, here's a fun little jam that I figured out this morning. I was like, hey, why not do this? We were at a party. His earlobe fell in the deep. Reached in and grabbed it. It was a rock lobster. Copyright strike. Hope you enjoyed that. You guys have a great day, and thanks for visiting the PipeCat channel one more time and indulging my terrible playing. Have a good one.